From the pages of Entertainment Weekly number 481, dated April 16th, 1999, we bear witness to something no one thought possible just 5 years earlier. Professional wrestling not only on the cover of a major entertainment magazine, but taking over its pages like a hostile invasion from Monday night. This was the moment when the secret was out, when sports entertainment became simply entertainment, and the line between actor, athlete, and icon was shattered by a generation of wrestlers with catchphrases, steel chairs, and stories that captivated 35 million fans every single week. The headline is bold. 35 million wrestling fans can't be wrong. And under it is the smirking, bald-headed brute force of Goldberg, the undefeated juggernaut of WCW, staring directly into America's living rooms. This wasn't just a puff piece. This was Entertainment Weekly acknowledging that the cultural pulse had shifted, that the freak show that once aired in smoky arenas at midnight had become primetime, edge-of-your-seat, advertiser-coveted television. And to prove it, the magazine devotes its main feature to a full-scale exploration of the wrestling world, from the over-the-top violence of the WWF to the production polish of WCW, and perhaps most importantly, to the people behind the personas. The main feature, penned by Kristen Baldwin and Mike Flaherty, opens with one of the most disturbing visuals in modern wrestling history: The Undertaker hanging Big Boss Man from the rafters inside Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania 15. The authors pull no punches. This isn't Hulk Hogan's wrestling anymore. Gone are the heroes in red and yellow. In their place, middle fingers, lingerie matches, flaming tables, and promos so raw they'd make Don Rickles flinch. But here's what makes this issue special. It doesn't scoff. It doesn't mock the medium. Instead, it engages. It investigates why wrestling has become the biggest ratings grabber on cable, why WWF Raw is War regularly beats sitcoms, dramas, and even NBA games in the ratings, why WCW's Nitro changed television forever by being the first weekly live wrestling broadcast, with cinematic production, stunt-level pacing, and unpredictable character turns. The article delves into the war, the Monday Night Wars, that is. WCW, with Turner's billions behind it, was first to strike, debuting Nitro live every Monday to go head-to-head with Vince McMahon's aging Monday Night Raw. For a year and a half, Eric Bischoff's aggressive acquisitions, Hogan, Hall, Nash, Savage, kept WCW on top. But McMahon fought back with attitude, with Austin, with the kind of storytelling that had more in common with Jerry Springer than it did with WrestleMania 3. The feature includes full, celebrity-style bios of top stars. It's here where we see Entertainment Weekly fully lean into wrestling's crossover appeal. Steve Austin, with his no-nonsense beer-chugging image, is painted as a cultural icon of anti-authority, a man who flipped the bird and stunnered his own boss weekly and became America's working-class hero for it. His Q-score rivaled major athletes and movie stars. His T-shirts were bestsellers nationwide. He didn't play a role, he was the role. Then there's Mankind, aka Mick Foley, described here not just as a guy who took brutal bumps, but as a college-educated writer, Christmas music collector, and father of two. The article mentions the Hell in a Cell fall, but focuses more on Foley's rise from indie darling to unlikely fan favorite, a man who gave his body and soul for the fans and earned their respect tenfold. Chyna, the ninth wonder of the world, is highlighted for breaking boundaries as the first woman to enter the Royal Rumble, hold the Intercontinental title, and stand toe-to-toe with the men. She's portrayed not just as a bodybuilder in black leather, but as a groundbreaking figure in the feminist discussion, whether or not she intended to be. And of course, The Rock gets his flowers. Entertainment Weekly notes his charisma, his wordplay, and his ability to own any room, something Hollywood would soon discover. The magazine makes clear, this isn't just a wrestler. This is the next crossover star. Spoiler, they were right. Over in WCW, the tone shifts to suit the promotion's style. Goldberg is front and center, an ex-NFL player turned indestructible force, a man of few words, intense eyes, and an undefeated streak that made him must-watch. But WCW's bench runs deep. Ric Flair is spotlighted as both wrestler and on-screen president, bringing decades of storytelling skill to the modern era. Hollywood Hogan, revived by his turn to the NWO, is still a dominant force. But there's tension. WCW's bloated roster, behind-the-scenes politics, and inability to build new stars is acknowledged, as is their over-reliance on nostalgia. A sidebar analysis debates the state of the Monday Night War. Has WWF surpassed WCW creatively? The writers suggest yes, but with a warning. WCW still holds cards, bigger production budget, better time slot, real network support. But the WWF had something WCW didn't: momentum. The issue also reflects on how wrestling blurred reality and fiction. McMahon wasn't just CEO, he was now Mr. McMahon, the tyrannical boss. Austin wasn't just a wrestler, he was every underpaid employee's fantasy. Sable, once just a valet, now graced the cover of Playboy. D-Generation X were locker room clowns turned marketing machines. Every match was a moment, every promo a storyline beat. We also get retrospectives. A mini Hall of Fame pays homage to the golden era: Bruno Sammartino, Classy Freddie Blassie, Captain Lou Albano, Gorilla Monsoon. They're celebrated not just for what they did, but for what they made possible. They paved the way for this mainstream moment. And in typical EW fashion, the ads are pristine. High-end cable bundles promoting WF pay-per-views, movie promotions tied to wrestling themes, cologne samples, CD subscription services, and a plug for That 70s Show. This isn't a wrestling magazine with pop culture. This is pop culture giving wrestling its full spotlight. But make no mistake, the soul of this issue is about respect. Entertainment Weekly respects what wrestling had become. Not just carny nonsense, not just chair shots and gimmicks, but a crafted serialized drama with athleticism, danger, and cultural relevance. And it was being watched by millions who knew it was scripted, but loved it anyway. So if you remember Stone Cold crashing beer trucks, Goldberg spearing through walls, The Rock turning insults into art, or Mankind showing heart behind every bruise, then you remember when the world stood still and admitted wrestling was mainstream. And if this trip through suplexes and spotlights sparked your nostalgia, then do what Austin would want you to do. Like, share, and subscribe. Because every day, we bring the pain, the promos, and the pop culture collision from the pages.